Hello, and welcome to Triggered Care. I'm Alex. I've been through quite the mental state for a while now. Keep talking about that. And today I was thinking about my mental state, and everybody's mental state, and the uptick in violence, and like what's going on, and everything. And I thought that this might be useful tips for surviving through all of this. I have been approaching it from a more serious standpoint, which it is serious, but I think I've been in the seriousness for too long. And it's really upsetting, and it's like breaking my brain, and so I kind of need to get out of that. And it was making me think like about all the times that I've felt out of control, and where my repressed emotions and my repressed sadness came out in ways that I didn't want it to come out, and how I've dealt with that like the entirety of my life, because I've had crazy episodes my entire life. And a lot of mine throughout childhood was learning how to stop myself from hurting myself in episodes and self-harm, and that took me a really long time to kind of get a handle on and to develop other outlets for that. And I feel like right now a lot of people are feeling repressed rage, anger, sadness on a massive scale. And so there's a lot of outbursts and violence going on everywhere, which then feeds that cycle. It makes more people scared, and then more repressed episodes to come about, since everybody is also suffering from the effects of denial and not wanting to acknowledge the spot that we're in right now, which I don't blame you. Denial offers some sort of respite from the reality of things, of, oh, well, it's not that bad. And what you're doing when that happens, what I'm doing when that happens, is I'm going back to a safer time in my brain, and I'm holding on to that reality. The issue with that is it can inhibit your thought process. It can inhibit your reasoning skills when you are trying to seek comfort from a different time in your life and being like, no, remember this atmosphere? That's what we're in right now. It's a type of self-deception that can bleed into other ways of thinking, because then your brain is going to go back to that knowledge base, back to those thought patterns, in order to feel normal, or as close as normal as you can get. And that can be unhealthy. That can be really difficult to get out of once you're in that. And it's important to seek out laughter to break the tension. When you are going through the shit, it is important to balance out your emotions as best you can. It's also important to acknowledge that we are going to be susceptible to adrenaline addiction to adrenaline, since when the sadness lasts for so long and you've been going through traumatic things for so long, adrenaline feels like happy. It's the closest equivalent to happy that you can get. And so seeking out that adrenaline, it's good to have safe options for that, and to stay mindful and grounded, as just recognize that it's happening. And a lot of times people seek out adrenaline through arguments, through conflict with one another, because it's one of the most natural ways to get adrenaline is through disagreement. And so keeping that in mind, that yes, it feels like you have to do this right now, but that's because your body needs endorphins. It needs something that equates to energy and feeling alive and not just in the autopilot zombie day by day. We're just living through this, right? One way that I seek out adrenaline when I can feel that really intensifying is through dramatic TV shows where I just escape into another world, and there's lots of drama and conflict in that, and kind of just allowing me to feel that with the characters. Not to say that I don't slip up, and sometimes I do. Usually with me, I do it through passive aggressive means because, of course, that's what I learned growing up. And I try to catch myself and then like call myself out after I do it. Like, hey, that was some weird passive aggressive things I just said. Please. No, I don't mean it. I'm just really sad. And obviously I'm not processing that well. So I'm going to take some space and I'm going to try to figure out my brain and figure out what I need to do to process these feelings that are making me lash out. So keep that in mind, that people are going to be a bit more aggressive, either emotionally or physically. And the best way to break out of that is through laughter, is to break that tension. When the energy's getting really tight and you're like, I can't breathe. Like, this is so, like, your heart's going. That is the time that laughter is needed in that tension to break it, to break everybody out of that tension, adrenaline-seeking spell. You need to find a connecting humor, a connecting thing. For me, a lot of times what will make me laugh is the ridiculousness of the situation. Because a lot of times when that tension is getting so high, it's not because of the present circumstance that you're in. It's because of the traumatic circumstances that nobody will talk about. But when you project that onto something smaller, just looking at the intensity of that can be funny. In the moment of like, wait a second, what are we doing? This is getting really heavy for this situation that we're talking about right now. Also, with how much mental health has been stigmatized in mainstream media forever, I want to reassure people who haven't been knowledgeable about mental health struggles before the pandemic and all of that, right? You may be experiencing symptoms such as lethargy and spacing out a lot, daydreaming, or getting lost in thought, rumination. You might be experiencing disassociation or crying fits or laughing fits that make you feel crazy and that make you feel inappropriate, because our society's done a really good job of any trauma symptoms. That's crazy people land and they need professional help immediately. It's not like that. You're just experiencing trauma symptoms and there's nothing to be ashamed about. Sometimes when life gets to be too much, your body has these things that it does in order to expel the stress, and it's normal. It's a normal reaction to this abnormal situation that we're in. And you're not lazy if you get stuck in bed for a few days. That's not laziness. That's being overwhelmed. Important thing to do while you're dealing with trauma is to validate yourself of, I'm extremely overwhelmed. I'm not able to do the things that I normally could do relatively easily. And giving yourself that patience and not stigmatizing yourself on top of what society has taught us to stigmatize. You're not lazy. You are going through a lot. And that goes to everybody. No group of people, just everybody. This message is for you, everybody. It's okay to be overwhelmed. And it's okay to not know what to do. I mean, it doesn't feel okay. It feels very aggravating and very sad. But I'm just saying that you're not broken. You're not a failure. It is an unrealistic expectation for people to just hold all of their worry and sorrow and despair into themselves. The strong and silent thing doesn't work. And it makes me very upset that stereotype was, put out there to make trauma survivors feel like they can't talk about what they've been through. But that energy is not compatible with right now, because we're all going through a lot. No matter where you come from, no matter what's going on, you've been through a lot. And it's important that we have patience and that we find those times to laugh. We need to keep our emotion palette well balanced as it can be, given the circumstances. So yeah, those are just some of my thoughts on what's going on lately. I don't want to ramble for too long, but I've just been, trying to process through everything, trying to remain functional while I'm worried about a lot of things all at once. And yeah, I thought it was important to just put it out there. It's important to laugh, to try to stay as connected as you can, to keep in mind other people's mental states along with your own. And, peace and love and empathy are the keys to life. So, I hope all y'all are having good ones.